In the last video I made about PlayStation, working on this PlayStation setup that I'm currently trying to create, I mentioned in that video that the PlayStation 5 controller is just not for me, right? It was a hot take, hot button issue, if you will. A lot of PlayStation fans think that the controller is the best, the most ergonomic. It's not, in my opinion, right? But we're gonna solve that today because, again, like in last video, I wanted to mention that I love Amazon greatly, very much so. And I have a controller here today for PlayStation called the Victrix Pro BFG. Big freaking gamer, or what does that mean? I'm not sure, but I wanted to open this today and kind of see what it was about, right? And the gimmick with it, or the thing behind it, is that it kind of allows you to play in any configuration that you want, which is how it should be, honestly. I wish PlayStation would allow you to use Xbox controllers on their platform, but they just don't. And you can go through the remote app and things like that to use it, but it only works on PlayStation 4 games. So there's that. Oh my God, why can't I get this open? All right, so we got the box cracked here. So what you're first greeted with, nice little here. Let me show you the unboxing experience. Okay, that is what you're greeted with. Very nice. Got some logo. We pull it out. Okay. Anything else under here? We have a scan me code and some literature. We can scan that for a quick start guide, 20% off coupon for the shop. Cool. Now this thing has an app that you need evidently a computer for in order to customize the buttons on the controller, because like the Xbox Pro controller or the PlayStation Edge controller, it seems like it has some triggers on the back that can be programmable. So this is what we're greeted with when we open it up. Very nice, very subtle purple there. Okay, we're gonna pull out the controller here. And this is what it looks like. Interesting. And this, oh, this is what I'm talking about, baby. Those are some trigger locks. Not a fan of that. You can do wireless or wired on the back, which is pretty cool. Other than that, it's set up in a X square triangle circle. It's got the touch screen or touch thing on the top here. Very clicky, very nice. D-pad is nice. We got a wireless receiver here, which I don't know if that's just for PC or if it's meant to go in the PlayStation 5. We'll find that out later. We got a very nice premium feeling charging cable, or if you wanted to use the controller in a wired configuration, you can do that with this. Very nice purple braided cable. I do like the color scheme of the purple and the black. It's very nice. This is the gimmick. What do you need it for? Well, the controller itself has screws right here that we can, or should be able to. I hope I don't goof anything up here. We can go through here and we can unscrew these little Allen screws here. And once they're out, here's the gimmick. This whole assembly comes out and can be flipped 180 degrees. Then we screw it back in here. Okay, just finger tight. And for all the PlayStation lovers out there, you got your normal, standard PlayStation layout for your thumbsticks. Okay, so we don't have to be enemies anymore. All right, we can be friends. We can hang out on the weekends. So now that we've kind of talked about what the controller can do, I want to take a look at actually doing it and what it's like to actually use this controller, or, you know, have it in a modern setting, right? Or in your living room. So right here is the controller, and maybe we need to up the ISO on that a little bit. So here's the controller. Okay, and I just wanted to get a feel for it. As you can see, it does have that that PlayStation look right out of the box, right? The thumbsticks way too close together per PlayStation, per usual. The triggers do feel just like PlayStation triggers. They feel really, really nice. The D-pad feels really nice. The buttons feel pretty good too. This is also a button as well. Here's your start and select or home and whatever buttons for the play. I don't know what they're called in the PlayStation. This button right here is to connect it to the receiver. And then of course you have your PlayStation button. Now on the back, you have your trigger locks right here. And that will make it so the triggers can't go all the way down. And then of course we have 4 paddles on the back, and how you kind of change those is you'll hold down this button right here and then you will select a paddle. So you'll hold down a button, and then you'll hit this paddle right here, and then you'll flip it back over, and a light will be flashing, and you will choose which button you want that to go to. So that's how you map buttons. But the cool part about the controller, and the whole reason why I picked it up in the first place, was this tool right here, which is just an Allen key. So if you ever lose it, there's always a chance that you have another one hanging around in your closet or in your toolbox. So there's 2 screws right here, and these ones just kind of screw out. They don't come all the way out. So if you look at picking this controller up, you're not going to take the screws all the way out, just until they don't have any more bite to them. You will put your tool down. You can grab the thumbstick. Look at that. And inside reveals a little cavern. There's a little module in there. The main reason that I bought this controller is because you can pull it out of that terrible PlayStation layout, and you can flip it around to give it the Xbox layout. And then we just screw it back down. Plays like an Xbox controller. And then for this side, we have a similar mechanism. You can unscrew it. Unfortunately for this side, you can't flip it around. It doesn't fit. So what is that for? Well, we see this device right here, which is a fight stick, essentially. Let me get this closed back up and put back over there. So this is what you would use to play, you know, Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, things like that. And that just sits right down in there. And again, and then all of a sudden you have a fight stick. And to remove it, it's the same thing. You just unscrew it, take it out, take your PlayStation configuration, put it back in, and then of course we just screw it back down, just like that. Now I know this is a hot button topic, right? It's a hot button issue. And I understand. The console wars have been going on since I have been alive. And unfortunately, that's just kind of the truth of the matter, right? There's always going to be people who prefer things one way or prefer things another. And for me, I grew up on Xbox. Okay, I did. And I'm proud to be a member of that community. But yeah, I grew up on Xbox, and that's the configuration. That's the layout that I prefer. And if I don't have that on a controller, it doesn't feel right. It feels wrong. Now, truth be told, okay, the day that I got this, I unboxed it, and that is the first part of this video. This part of the video is about 4 days later, and I've been using the absolute crap out of this thing. I love it. It feels so good. My accuracy on shots has gone up over double just for this. And I'm not saying this is something that, you know, everybody is going to need or necessarily want. It's not cheap. It's $180. But at the end of the day, it was what I needed to be able to enjoy the PlayStation on controller, sadly. And if you consider that the Razer version of the PS5 controller that has the analog stick in this layout, that's like $250. So I think this is a pretty good deal. And also the PlayStation Edge, or the Pro controller for PlayStation, is also $200. So this is still cheaper than that. So if you are somebody who enjoys a good old Xbox layout, this is the controller for you. That's what they made it for. The software is a little odd. It leaves a little to be desired. You do plug the controller into the computer to update the firmware, and you can change some settings and things like that. However, it just doesn't cooperate very well. But I will say that it is easy enough to just hold this button down, select a paddle, and then click the button that you want that paddle to be on the controller. So the only real reason to plug it in is to just update the firmware. Another thing with it is there's a slider right up here that allows you to set it to PS5, PS4, or PC. You do have to flip those into whichever device that you are using. I don't know what kind of technology they're using that doesn't allow you to or requires you to do that, I guess. There's also a wired and wireless option on the back, a little switch back here as well, that if you're using the dongle, which by the way, if you're using this on a PlayStation 5, you do need to use the dongle in order to use it. You can't just connect it directly to the PlayStation. At least if you can, I haven't found a way to do it. Same goes for the PC. You can wirelessly connect it to your PC, which, hey, that's pretty neat too. I don't know if I mentioned in the beginning or not, but I will leave a link to this controller in the description down below. That way, if you're interested, you can kind of check it out. It's got a nice, nice purple and black finish. This little X logo right here glows purple when it's connected, which, I mean, it's just, it's very nice, and it feels very nice. It doesn't feel cheap. I mean, there's other controllers that I've held by third-party manufacturers that just feel cheap, and this feels like it's made out of good material. It's strong. It's very solid. We got grips along the sides and along the fronts as well. This is all rubberized grip. Then there's grip on the back here. Again, the triggers are probably my favorite thing about the PlayStation controller, is that the triggers are just really nice. These are PlayStation triggers. It feels exactly the same as my actual PlayStation 5 controller. And these buttons up here, super, super clicky. Really nice. So yeah, as mentioned, I have used the controller and I'm absolutely loving it. Being able to jump with this little paddle back here while still having my fingers on the trigger and the sticks. So having to go over and hit X, absolutely immaculate. I'm loving it. And it all boils down to me absolutely needing the offset analog stick configuration. So if you're like me, there's a link to this down in the description down below. But it's absolutely phenomenal, and it is part of my setup now. I've been using it nonstop for the last 4 or 5 days. Absolutely loving it. Again, KD accuracy has all gone up exponentially since I'm actually able to aim and my fingers aren't, you know, close together and you overshoot. And is that why PlayStation players are bad at Call of Duty? Yeah. Feels really good in the hands. Plays really well. Not sponsored. This is just my honest thoughts on the controller from somebody who needs that offset stick. So if you need the offset stick and also would like some paddles, this controller is pretty awesome. Guys, that's the video. If you like this video, I know you're going to love this video right there. I have a whole playlist of videos right here that I know you're going to enjoy as well. Click on one of those and I will see you when you get over there. Take care.